What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We are here with some NFL DFS picks and lineup advice. FanDuel, DraftKings, single game showdown slate, Monday Night Football, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, Week 17. This is one of the final showdown videos of the season. We'll try to get some content out there for the playoffs. Let us know what you would like to see. Comment on the video below. Let us know that. I'm Brian Jester. Welcome, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy. Single game $1 million winner. If you know our showdown videos, what we do, we go through low risk and high risk lineup construction tips. We talk about injuries and COVID news that impact the slate, and then general strategies to help get you to the top of those contest leaderboards. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Get notified when we go live. Upload any new videos. Helps us out. Helps you out. We're doing a 3K subscriber giveaway pretty shortly. So by subscribing to the channel, you'll be entered into that. Give us a thumbs up if you like the content and want to see more showdown or NFL related videos. And if you have any questions, you can comment on the video or hop in our Discord server. OccupyFantasy.com/Discord is where you can chat with other members of the OccupyFantasy.com community. Let's jump right into it. So, Browns, Steelers, divisional matchup. Pittsburgh has an outside shot at the playoffs. Things really need to break their way. Cleveland has been completely eliminated. So, just pride mostly on the line tonight and the narrative of Big Ben's potential last home game in Pittsburgh. We'll get to that here in a second. For injuries tonight, not a ton to really look at. If we look, Kareem Hunt is tentatively expected to be back. He's missed the last few weeks, has been on and off the COVID list and other injuries. He's expected to return probably, practice in limited capacity all throughout the past week or so. So expect him to return to some sort of rotational role. Maybe not his full-time role he had when he was splitting with Chubb earlier in the season, but some sort of rotational role here tonight. Pat Freiermuth, the Pittsburgh rookie tight end, who's been great so far this year, has missed the last few weeks with a scary concussion. He is expected to be back tonight. He doesn't have an injury designation. He'll be playing tonight. And I think that's it. Let's just scroll down here a little bit just to make sure we got everything. Yeah, that's really it. No major injuries. I will say Pittsburgh is missing 3 main defenders, 1 defensive lineman, their 2 linebackers, Joe Schobert and Devin Bush. So that certainly bodes well for the Cleveland rushing game. So keep that in mind as you're building lineups. So low risk contest. Let's talk about that. 50-50s, double ups, head-to-heads. You just have to beat half the field to cash. You've seen our content. You know the 2 running back, 2 quarterback approach. Try to lock up all the scoring. Doesn't really work that well tonight. Probably a slate that we won't recommend very much, if any, low risk allocation. Because if we try to get in both running backs, let's go Nick Chubb, Najee Harris, Big Ben, Baker Mayfield, 1,600 left per player. And as we'll talk about here in a second, there is not a ton of value tonight. Very, very little value on both sides of the ball. So this doesn't make a ton of sense. And there are 2 issues really with this as well. In addition to the lack of value, right? We also have the fact that we'd be leaving out a very high target, high PPR guy in Deontay Johnson, who's going to be popular. And you know how we feel about leaving out high PPR options on DraftKings. Generally, it's pretty risky. So it doesn't make a ton of sense. Also, Mayfield's banged up and they have nothing to play for. There are no reports that indicate he's going to, miss some time or be benched or not play as much. But there is that potential, right? They're losing. Shoulder, nothing to play for. Maybe they pull him, right? Again, not likely, but possible. Not something we want to risk in our low risk lineup. So low risk lineups, really tough tonight. FanDuel, the exact same thing, if not worse. The 4 core players, 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, are the most expensive players on the slate on FanDuel. Can we punt the 5th lineup spot? Can we just not play a player and keep the $500? We can't, right? So we can't really make a low-risk lineup on FanDuel either. So what that means is tonight is purely a high-risk night. Focus on satellites, GPPs, small field, large field contests, multipliers, whatever you can. Because I do think it's a pretty decent high-risk night. But again, it is high-risk. I know it's the last primetime showdown slate, but don't worry. We'll have some on Saturday. We have a 2-gamer on Saturday. We'll have the Sunday night game for Week 18. And then we'll have showdown slates all throughout the playoffs. So again, plenty of time to get your money in. Tonight's not the night. Let's go back over to DraftKings and let's talk about high-risk contests. Now, high-risk contests, we have to be a little more concerned about our differentiation, adding some low-owned elements to our lineup. I mentioned the lack of value tonight. Let's take a look at that. So if we look at the kickers and defenses, Boswell, 4K. And keep an eye on this throughout the day. I guess Chase McLaughlin has fallen out of favor with the coaching staff, has missed some kicks lately, and again, they are out of playoff contention. They signed Chris Blewett to the practice squad. There are some indications that Blewett will get called up and take McLaughlin's spot this afternoon, but we'll know that by 4 p.m. Eastern, so just monitor that. There's a chance that Blewett kicks instead of McLaughlin. Don't be that guy or girl who plays a kicker who's not kicking. Don't do that. We have noticed, though, by the way, there is an edge when it comes to that on FanDuel. You'll see if McLaughlin is inactive tonight, we'll see him get 5 to 10% ownership. So certainly, if we want to pay the rake, that certainly helps us out for other people to do that. So keep an eye. Anyways, below them, no players are truly mispriced. Ray McLeod, rotational wide receiver 3. Harrison Bryant, tight end 3 with Njoku and Austin Hooper back. James Washington, rotational wide receiver 3. Anthony Schwartz, rotational maybe wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Snell's a backup, barely gets carries. Gentry, now a tight end 2 with Pat Freiermuth back. Raider, tight end 3. Cody White barely plays. None of these guys are fantastic plays by any stretch. So what this generally means is we generally get elevated ownership on kickers and defenses when this happens. I think especially kickers tonight. No weather concerns. I think it's 20-degree weather, no wind, no precipitation. So we shouldn't be concerned about kickers anyways. But they will see elevated ownership tonight. And when we have a slate where there's not a ton of value, this is what you have to do. You either play one of those values in the larger contests and hope that they can outscore the kickers or defenses, or we play lineups that are near to the salary cap, which is dangerous from a duplication standpoint in larger contests, but we throw out the correlation rules because there's not a lot of value to get us there. We're not saving salary. We just need to fit in the 6 best players, and sometimes that breaks correlation rules. What does that mean? So if we play Deontay Johnson at captain, maybe we don't play Big Ben. We play Baker Mayfield instead, or we play Pittsburgh defense in a low-scoring game, right? Or let's say, generally you don't play a kicker against opposing defense or a kicker against opposing running back. But if we had Najee Harris, maybe we play, Chris Blewett in the flex. Generally, this wouldn't work out, especially if there are values on the slate. If you use less of the salary cap, this doesn't really make sense. It never really works out. But when the salary is condensed and values don't pan out, we see some weird lineups get to the top. So don't be afraid to break some of your traditional rules that we have in our showdown guide on our website for your larger field contest tonight. In small field contests, don't be afraid to play both kickers together, a kicker and a defense. It's hard to get some low-owned players because all the low-owned players below the kickers aren't great plays for small field contests. And some of the mid-range guys that we know go low-owned aren't in great spots either outside of Donovan Peoples-Jones. So be open to playing multiple kickers in less than 300 player contests. And the same holds true for FanDuel as well, right? We'll see Boswell. And again, let's see here. Is Blewett even on the slate? All right. Now we're talking because Chris Blewett, the potential kicker, if we get the word, he's min-price, whereas McLaughlin is 8,500. That opens up a lot of opportunities. And I think we'll see lower ownership as a result because a lot of people overlook that fact. So keep that in mind. Potential edge tonight on FanDuel is to play the Browns kicker at 5K. And again, on a slate where there's no value, all these guys are priced up. It's really tough to get in multiple of these guys at the top. We're going to need some value, and we're going to need to save some salary, and likely with kickers. So I think it's a great spot tonight to play kickers on FanDuel and on both sites. Just be mindful of where your differentiation comes from. So that'll do it for this video. Kind of a long-winded explanation of the high-risk approach, but we're going to go into super detail in the Daily Plug. That's posted by 3 p.m. Eastern at OccupyFantasy.com. This will be the last premium showdown Daily Plug of the 2022 season. Any Daily Plug in the future will be focused on the playoff slates. We'll have some showdown notes in there for sure, but this is the only dedicated showdown slate plug for the rest of the season. So check it out, OccupyFantasy.com. Links in the description below. We'll go into rankings for low risk, small field high risk, large field high risk contests, and then specific lineup strategies based on all the players in the game for those contest types. Again, you can check it out. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at OccupyFantasy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, get notified when we go live, upload those videos. Helps us out. Half the people who watch our videos aren't subscribed. We need to pump those numbers up. So give us a subscribe. We appreciate it. Get entered into our 3K subscriber giveaway, which we'll announce later this week or next week. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. We appreciate that. Lets us know that you like this type of content. Any questions, hop in the comments below. Hop in our Discord server. We'll happily answer them before the game begins tonight. So, Brian Jester for Occupy Fantasy. Just want to say, we've done a lot of these showdown videos all year. I appreciate you. Everyone at Occupy Fantasy appreciate you watching them throughout the season. Good luck tonight. Let's get it.